Alright, what's going on guys? So I'm pretty sure many of you are familiar with Jake Paul, the poster child of vlogging content in 2017 post-Vine era. He basically inspired the whole Bryce Hall generation of content creators, but as he gets older we see that nothing has really changed about him. His personality is just as unlikable as it was in his peak years, and in contrast to his brother Logan, who has made a literal 180, there's nothing that has changed about this man. The thing with Jake though is that he hasn't done anything outright drastic or outright terrible. He might be an asshole or a douchebag, but he hasn't done anything that severely harmed the world or harmed people. But you still hate the guy, right? But I gotta say, now that this recent news came out, I'm not surprised in the least, and it kinda makes me feel not that bad about hating him. So what did he do? Well, like you saw in the title, this man has been accused of sexual harassment. The girl going by Justine Paradise just came out a few days ago exposing Jake Paul, saying that he sexually assaulted her. She first came out about this on TikTok by not saying outright who it was, but being very vague.
$19 Fortnite card. Who wants it?
No more Fortnite?
At this point, no names were mentioned, but in the description of that video, she stated that an NDA was signed. When I saw this, I immediately knew it had to be Jake Paul, given that he's been throwing these house parties during the pandemic where people had to sign these non-disclosure agreements at the door. So that was her speaking out. And things really has not gotten too serious at this point. I mean, for all we know, she could be lying and just trying to gain some views off the situation. But after this, someone commented that this might be fake, and I mean, it's always sus when someone goes online instead of the police, but this was what she had to say.
Hello, I am not falsely accusing anyone for clout. I've kept this to myself for a long time, so making the decision to share it publicly is terrifying because I know I'm gonna have a lot of attention on it, and I know a lot of that attention is gonna be hate, and I don't want to deal with all the hate that I'm gonna get for like something bad that happened to me. But also, I know it is necessary to share this information with everybody, so it could maybe like save someone that would be in my position in the future. I haven't shared this YouTube video previously with all the information in it because, like, it's scary to share. So I've been kind of mentally prepping myself, and also some, like, big reporters said it's in my best interest to wait, and since I've never shared anything like this, and I assumed they had more like knowledge than me, I decided to like go with that. But I think that's wrong. I think it's just in their best interest for me to wait.
Finally, in the caption of that video, she stated that it was in fact Jake Paul. Posted, "It was Jake Paul, sorry to keep everyone waiting." After this, she dropped this video right here about 3 days ago, as I'm recording this right now, entitled "Trigger Warning, Jake Paul sexually assaulted me."
Hi, I feel really kind of awkward right now because I think about this a lot. I think about it every single day, but I've never said anything about it because a couple different reasons. One, I don't want to ruin someone's career for something that they did. Is it like I feel guilty even though I was the one who was assaulted? This happened last year. I haven't said anything. That's why I was too embarrassed. I was too feeling guilty, even though it's not my fault. I guess I should start by saying how I knew him. This story is about Jake Paul. I was going to use a fake name, but if someone else, another girl, is in a situation like me and thinks that it's just someone that's nice and sweet, like, he's not. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and use his real name. It was Jake Paul.
The video starts off and it's just your average YouTuber pandemic house party. They were signing NDAs, of course, because they didn't want any filming, and the main man, Jake, didn't want any of this getting out. After that, she said that Jake Paul asked her for her number, and it's a party. Doesn't sound too out of the ordinary, right? To ask for an attractive girl's number, but in this case, maybe it had to do with the whole NDA thing, and if someone was posting online or recording, he'd have a means of contact?
But yeah, after signing the NDA thing, I met Jake Paul almost immediately. I had to go to the bathroom. I was looking for a bathroom in this huge place. I walk into the kitchen and Jake Paul was there, and like a bunch of people that lived there were there, and they had like whiteboards and they were just doing like businessy stuff. I was just looking for the bathroom. I didn't know where the bathroom was. Jake was there obviously because it was his house, and he was like, "Hey, I like your hair," and I was like, "Oh, thanks." He asked if I had an accent. I don't know why I didn't think I sounded like that, and I was like, "Oh, no, where's the bathroom?" And then he showed me where the bathroom was. And then I just kind of hung out with my friend Michael and Becca for the remainder of the time there. And then Jake came up to me and he asked me for my phone number at some point. And even though this was like a year and a half ago, I do still have the phone that I had at the time, so I have all the messages and everything. He was really awkward.
Alright, so it turns out it wasn't for the whole NDA thing, but let me just go over these messages real quick to see what we're working with. Jake says, "KK baby, you look so good. Thank you, thank you. How are you? Why are you texting me when I'm in your house? Seems legit, makes sense. Cause you're cute. Shall I come up?" And he says, "Yeah, come here. Let's hang out. I'm getting food with a friend tonight, but I can come after if you're down. Also, you have to speak to me and not text me from across the room. LOL. He says, "Lol, of course. We will kick it. Normally I'm working." It seemed like she was interested and maybe wanted a taste of that Jake Paul meat on the low key. At least from the messages, it just seemed like that. Maybe she was just pretending because he was a huge figure.
I don't know if it was just me or if he's like this with everyone. I mean, I don't think he's like this with everyone. I don't know. But he was really awkward when he was talking to me. Like, to me it reminded me of like middle school, because he would text me even if I was like in the same room as him. I can put up the text here. I'm not sure exactly how many times I went to his house. He would be like, "Hey, where are you?" I'm like, "I'm downstairs," or whatever, like, "I'll come up." And then he would still text me even though I'm in the same room, and I just felt uncomfortable because why can't you just talk to my face if I'm here? But I just figured he had bad social skills. Like, I didn't know anything about him before, but after I met him, I kind of like looked him up a little bit, and I guess he's been famous for like a long time. So I'm just assuming he always got what he wanted and never had to build like social skills and talking to people. Like, girls basically just like throw themselves at him, which is what I was seeing there. Like, girls were just throwing themselves at him, and he would go to his room with a different girl, like multiple different girls every day. Like, that's just what happened. It was fine, whatever.
I'm not gonna lie, she just summed up his whole character in one sentence there. Jake Paul is definitely the type of guy who likes to be the generic frat bro and live that lifestyle, sleeping with 3 to 4 girls a day. When one hops out, another one fills her place.
After that, my friend Michael found me crying and was asking me what's wrong, and I told him what was wrong and that Jake Paul fucked my face without consent. He was telling me, "That's really messed up. I'm so sorry that that happened to you. I'll talk to him for you." And I just stayed there with him and my friend Becca for a bit, crying, and they were just like both being there for me.
From this clip here, you see stuff is starting to add up. The date, that's the date after, and clearly she's been up all night crying. It's pretty obvious.
And I texted him a few weeks later, and I was just being normal, and I was like, hi, do you want to hang out? He didn't give me a response or anything. You might be wondering like why I would want to hang out with someone who did that to me, and that is because I wanted to talk to him about how that made me feel. Because somewhere in my brain I was thinking, what if he didn't do this to me on purpose? What if he didn't know how this made me feel? Like, What if he just does this to everyone because he's so socially awkward and thinks that this is what they want?
Now this actually makes some sense. Now, you guys watching this, I know I have a majority male audience, so just make sure and listen up real quick. Because this happens to women at a higher rate than men, and the only reason I could actually speak about this to a certain degree is because I did psychology and I spoke about it with a few friends that are majoring in it. There seems to be a misconception that I've noticed when someone is sexually assaulted or raped. A switch is just flipped off and suddenly the victim just hates them and they immediately want to take police action and seek justice. But basically that's what people think would happen because logically that's what you would do, right? The problem is realistically if someone is sexually assaulted, there is certain ways to cope with that trauma that can lead to that specific person looking like they're making illogical decisions, perhaps even dumb decisions. She was basically in this situation and she didn't think he was malicious at all and she just wanted to talk it out. She didn't want to make the assumption that this massive figure in the industry was a predator. This all sounds believable, right? And I'm not gonna be like Keem and just disregard her claims right off the bat. Like, there's been claims of this stuff happening for years now.
Physics here, like I don't understand how that's possible. Like why? Like can't you get away? Is there really no way to get away? Is there really no way to just close your mouth, like, and just not let the penis enter?
Yeah, so Mr. Keemstar here is saying that he doesn't understand how she let it happen. Let me just pull this up right here. Then we could start adding this up. Alright, so Jake Paul has a big boxing match coming up and Keem just recently partnered with a betting site. Yeah, makes sense now. But to sum up the actual allegations though, they went into his bedroom, they kissed, and she said she didn't want to do anything further and she claims Jake forced her into giving him oral. And Jake Paul hasn't responded at all. Kinda sus. But as upset as she comes off in this video and as sincere as she seems, this is just her word. I'm not gonna say Jake for certain did this and I'm not immediately gonna jump on a bandwagon, but I can't say that he's a rapist. I'll leave it up to you guys. You comment down below and tell me what you believe. Again, not saying I don't believe her, but if there's an actual investigation done into the matter and it comes out that she was in fact telling the truth, I'll be real. I won't be surprised at all. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like rating if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're not already, drop a comment, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, links are down below. The Discord link is in the description down below as well. Other than that, hope you guys are doing good and peace.
Give it up daily and only enjoy boys who didn't like mainstream. Well, I do, and this is nothing new, but looks like this life I ain't living for you. I know that you in love, but baby, our time's through when the size don't fit, so why would I wear the shoe? This ain't a love song, so I'ma skip bars, rip hard, grip stars, then dip up.